Hey, friend. The Dallas Cowboys season is falling apart. At 3-6, it's safe to say things aren't looking good. And now, with Dak Prescott out for the rest of the season, the weight of the entire team's future seems to be crashing down. It's hard not to feel like we're stuck in this never-ending cycle of disappointment, right? It wasn't supposed to be this way. After all the hype, the promises to be all in for 2024, the Cowboys seemed poised for greatness. But instead, it's been a year of frustration, with a roster that's not living up to expectations. And now, after Dak's injury, you've got to wonder, could it be the beginning of the end for Mike McCarthy as well? You've probably heard the whispers by now. NFL legend Leon McCoy went on air recently, and his words hit hard. He thinks the Cowboys should trade Dak Prescott. And not only that, he believes the team should go all in on Deion Sanders. Yes, Coach Prime himself, as the new head coach. McCoy's argument? Dak hasn't been able to elevate this team for years. In fact, after 8 seasons, he has just 2 playoff wins under his belt. That's not good enough for a franchise with the talent and legacy the Cowboys have. And let's be honest, while McCarthy's experience in the regular season is solid, he hasn't been able to make that leap into the postseason. So, what happens if the Cowboys miss the playoffs again this year? Do they stick with McCarthy, or does Jerry Jones make the tough decision to move on? I mean, we're talking about a coach who's already in the final year of his contract, and with the team at 3-6, it feels like change is inevitable. And you know what? The idea of bringing in Deion Sanders as head coach is starting to sound more appealing by the day. But, hey, I want to know what you think. Could this be McCarthy's last season? Poll time. Should the Cowboys make a big move and fire McCarthy after this season? Vote now in the poll or drop your thoughts in the comments below. Oh, and before we dive deeper, if you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. Your support means the world to us, and we're on the road to 12,000 subscribers. We couldn't do this without you. Chapter 2, The Last Game, The Loss to the Eagles and the Harbinger of Change, 350 words. So, after that crushing loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, things have only gotten more intense for the Cowboys. It wasn't just the scoreboard, 34-6, it was the way the team looked, the way they felt like they were just giving up. And it's not just us fans who are noticing it. The players are starting to voice their frustrations too. Micah Parsons, one of the few bright spots on this defense, made a statement after the game that has to be making Jerry Jones rethink things. I don't know about you, but when I heard it, it hit differently. Parsons said, Mike can leave and go wherever he wants. He wasn't holding back. Sure, he's frustrated about the team's performance, but it goes deeper than that. Parsons went on to say that he felt bad for guys like Zach Martin, who might be nearing the end of their careers. These are the players who've put in the work for years, and yet here they are, stuck in a team that's underachieving. That's tough to hear as a fan, right? You can't help but feel for those veterans. They deserve better. Now, as much as we might be feeling the heat of this season, Jerry Jones has been pretty adamant that McCarthy isn't going anywhere yet. According to Jerry, McCarthy is a heck of a coach, and he believes McCarthy still has the chance to turn things around. But here's the kicker, McCarthy's in the final year of his contract, and after this season, who knows where he'll be. If the Cowboys don't make a dramatic turnaround soon, you can't help but wonder if that last game against the Eagles was the final straw. Let's not sugarcoat it, this team is on the brink. You can feel the change coming. But will Jerry Jones pull the trigger on McCarthy's future? Or will he stick with him a little longer, hoping for some miracle? What do you think, my friend? Will McCarthy survive the season, or is the clock ticking on his time as head coach? Quick poll, do you think McCarthy's time with the Cowboys is over after this season? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the latest updates. Alright, let's take a step back and look at the big picture. Jerry Jones is facing a major decision here. His team is floundering, the expectations for 2024 have crumbled, and with Dak Prescott out for the season, the pressure is mounting. We've heard Jerry say McCarthy's a heck of a coach, but with each passing loss, it gets harder to ignore the reality: something needs to change. Now, Jerry's been pretty clear about one thing: he doesn't like firing coaches mid-season. But with McCarthy in the final year of his contract, the writing might be on the wall. The question is, what kind of change is Jerry looking for? We all know Jerry loves a good splash, a bold move, and what could be bolder than bringing in Deion Sanders as the next head coach? It's not just about the results on the field anymore. It's about shaking things up, changing the culture, and bringing in a fresh perspective. Deion Sanders is not only one of the greatest Cowboys players of all time, but he's also proven himself as a head coach with his success at Jackson State. Imagine him leading this team, bringing in his energy and charisma, while also tapping into that deep understanding of the game. Jerry could see this as the way forward, especially with how things have gone this season. But here's where things get tricky. Jerry's known for loyalty, and McCarthy has that in his corner. We saw Jerry stick by Jason Garrett for much longer than most of us thought was wise. Will he do the same with McCarthy? Or is he finally ready to make a bold move? The situation is tense. You can feel the uncertainty in the air. McCarthy's fate is hanging by a thread, and Jerry's decision could reshape the entire future of the franchise. Now, let's hear from you. Do you think Jerry should stick with McCarthy or make a bold change? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget, if you're enjoying the conversation, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We're building a community of die-hard Cowboys fans here, and you're part of it. Chapter 4, The Deion Sanders Possibility, the boldest move the Cowboys could make, 350 words. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Deion Sanders. Yes, you heard that right. The same Coach Prime who has turned heads with his remarkable turnaround at Jackson State. And while the idea of Deion Sanders leading the Dallas Cowboys may sound like a dream to some and a fantasy to others, the possibility is starting to feel more real every day.
When Leon McCoy, a respected NFL figure, suggested that the Cowboys should trade Dak and bring in Deion Sanders as the next head coach, it wasn't just a passing comment, it was a statement about where the team might be heading. Think about it, Deion's track record as a head coach is undeniable. He's taken a struggling program at Jackson State and transformed it into a powerhouse. His energy, charisma, and winning mentality could be exactly what this team needs. But let's not get too carried away. The Cowboys are not Jackson State. The stakes are higher, the pressure is greater, and the expectations are through the roof. Could Deion Sanders handle the weight of leading America's team? It's a bold move, no doubt, but that's exactly what Jerry Jones has been known for in the past. Jerry is a businessman who knows when it's time to make waves, and if McCarthy's failures continue to pile up, there's a real chance Jerry could take the plunge and bring in prime time. Now, there's something to consider here. Deion would need to surround himself with the right coaching staff, and there's no guarantee that every player would buy into his methods right away. There are bound to be growing pains, but isn't that the price of doing something great? So, let's keep the conversation going. Would you be excited to see Deion Sanders as the next Cowboys head coach? Or do you think this idea is just too wild to work? Weigh in below. And remember, your support helps us reach more Cowboys fans, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for all our latest updates. Chapter 5, The Inevitable Change, McCarthy's Future and What's Next for the Cowboys, 350 words. Here we are, at the final chapter. The Dallas Cowboys are at a crossroads, and it's hard to imagine the team coming out of this season unchanged. Whether it's McCarthy's firing or a shift in the roster, the Cowboys are facing a critical moment in their history. So, what happens next? We've spent the last few chapters discussing McCarthy's struggles and the possibility of bringing in Deion Sanders, but one thing is clear, the Cowboys cannot continue this way for much longer. The team is too talented to be sitting at 3-6, and with Dak Prescott out, it's only going to get harder to stay afloat. Now, let's talk about the future. Jerry Jones knows how much is on the line. With McCarthy likely coaching elsewhere in 2025, the decision to move on from him after this season could be the right one. The question is, who steps in? The idea of Deion Sanders as head coach isn't just exciting, it might be the spark the Cowboys need to ignite a new era. But, there's also the matter of rebuilding the roster. The defense, the offensive line, and of course, the quarterback situation will need to be addressed. A new head coach like Sanders could bring a fresh perspective on all of this, reshaping the team in ways we can't even imagine. The Cowboys are facing a make-or-break offseason. Will McCarthy stay or go? Will Jerry make the bold move to bring in prime time? Or will he stay loyal to McCarthy, hoping he can turn things around? There's a lot to figure out, and the next few months could change the entire direction of this franchise. Let's end with this. What do you think the Cowboys should do? Should McCarthy be fired, or should they give him another shot? Will Deion Sanders be the next head coach? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, we'll keep you updated on everything Cowboys.